Hello friends, welcome to the MOOCs course on Buddhist philosophy. I am Dr. Anil Tiwari from Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University in Jammu and Kashmir. This module titled Yogācāra Vasubandhu's Arguments for Mind Only Thesis. The module is authored by Dr. Dinesh Jamwal, who is an assistant professor at the Government College for Women in Jammu. In this module, the learners are provided with Vasubandhu's arguments against realism, which he offers in defense of his idealism. Vasubandhu, as we know, is considered one of the most important philosophers in the history of Buddhist philosophy. He belongs to the Yogācāra school of Mahayana Buddhism. The Yogācāra school is called the Vijnanavada school because of its idealist viewpoint. Vasubandhu presents his idealist ideas in his treatise called the Vigyapti Matrata Siddhi. The text has two parts, Vimshatika and Trimshika. It is in the Vimshatika that Vasubandhu has given his celebrated arguments against realism in favor of an idealist account of reality. The Vimshatika is a thoroughgoing polemic against naive realism. In this part, Vasubandhu criticizes the realist account of knowledge. He begins the Vimshatika with the assertion that all this is perception only, and then proceeds to defend this thesis against a number of possible objections by his realist rivals. There are four major arguments which form the crux of Vasubandhu's refutation of the naive realist theory. The first may be called the hallucination argument, in which Vasubandhu uses the analogy of dream to question the epistemological foundations of realism. The second argument is an attempt to resolve a contradiction between the Buddha's seemingly realist teachings and Vasubandhu's own idealist account of reality. The third argument involves the refutation of an external world comprising atoms. The fourth argument is an attempt to overcome two major problems that any idealist account of reality encounters: solipsism and the problem of other minds. We will see one by one these four arguments in detail. The first one is the hallucination argument, which is perhaps the most important argument of Vasubandhu in favor of his idealist account of reality. The Vimshatika starts with the claim that there are no external objects and everything is perception or mind only. Our ordinary experience of the so-called external objects is just like a person suffering from an eye disease who sees a bunch of hair which is non-existent. In the opening verses of Vimshatika, Vasubandhu anticipates a certain objection by the opponents against his anti-realist stance. The opponent would claim that if perception can happen without an external object, then there are three possible problems. If perception can happen without an external object, then there should not be any restriction as to the time and place of its experience. We see particular objects at definite places and times, and we do not arbitrarily see anything anywhere. How would then an idealist like Vasubandhu explain this restriction as to time and place? Secondly, if perception does not require external objects, then how do we account for the shared experience of individuals? If perception is only in the mind of the knower, as Vigyapti Matrata theory claims, then a thing should not be collectively seen by all individuals at a particular time and place. Therefore, an idealist is obliged to explain the occurrences of shared experiences. Further, if external objects do not exist, how can they be supposed to have causal efficacy? For example, how can a so-called external glass of water quench my thirst if it is only in my consciousness? Similarly, how can a fire which is only inside my mind burn my hand? The first 7 verses of the Vimshatika are an attempt to answer these objections of the opponent. Vasubandhu answers these by resorting to two notions of dream and hell. To refute the first objection concerning the restriction as to time and place, Vasubandhu makes use of the example of a dream. He says that the opponent cannot say that these constraints of our experience threaten idealism and prove the existence of an external world. These restrictions are present in dream as well. Although dreams may be arbitrary at times Many times dreams are as specific as any waking experience in terms of time and space. In dreams, sometimes the vivacity of the time and place restriction surpasses even our waking experience. Vasubandhu feels that the restriction argument of the opponent is on a par with the dream experience. Since the realist takes the dream experience to be untrue, he cannot take the so-called waking experience, restricted in terms of time and space, to be true. Since both experiences stand on the same epistemological footings, thus our so-called waking experience has no more epistemological reality than a dream. In order to handle this issue related to shared experiences, Vasubandhu makes use of the notion of hell. He says that there can be a case of shared hallucination and argues that such a shared hallucination happens in case of the hell experience of all hell inhabitants. All those who are present in the hell see bad things like rivers full of dirty pus and waste materials, and also the tormenting hell guardians. All the persons who were there because of their bad deeds see this collectively, although such pus rivers etc. do not exist in reality. Vasubandhu hence claims that shared experience does not guarantee that the so-called external object exists outside of consciousness. But how is Vasubandhu so sure that these pus rivers of hell do not exist objectively? He would say that if they were real, then they would be visible to all those present in the hell. But the hell guardians, who are also in the hell, do not see these rivers of waste any more than prison guards feel any confinement. These phenomena are then only the mental percepts of those doomed to suffering in hell because of their bad karmas. In the subsequent verses, Vasubandhu argues that even these hell guardians are nothing more than the mental constructs of the hell sufferers. Thus, the experiences of the hell inhabitants and the hell guardians are the cases of shared experience without any external reality. Therefore, even a shared experience cannot guarantee the existence of a mind-independent external world. Moreover, there are cases of group hallucinations as well. The third and the most important objection relates to the causal efficacy of experience without any external correlate. Vasubandhu takes an example of a sexually charged dream. He says, there is a real discharge of semen while going through a sexual act in the dream only. It can be observed that many a times we feel that our thirst is quenched on drinking a glass of water in a dream, or there can be a burning sensation and uneasiness if touched with fire in a dream. By giving the example of the sexually charged dream, Vasubandhu argues that even causal efficacy cannot guarantee the existence of a mind-independent world, because dream objects are also causally efficacious.